and a warm welcome to the AI with Arun Show. This is a special episode in which we have a spotlight series for young people who are building with AI. So I'm glad to welcome Sainik Ghosh, who studies currently at UC Berkeley and has built an AI agent that is going to share with us. So Sainik, over to you.
Thank you, Arun. So today I built one AI agent that does two completely different jobs. In the next few minutes, it's going to play application and then screen job candidates for a company. Same memory, same reasoning underneath. Everything that you see here is fake or synthetic data. But before I show you it working, let me tell you what this thing actually is and why it exactly caught my attention in the first place. So in the back end, it's not showing. It's Hermes Agent, which is an open source AI agent from a company called Nous Research. And their tagline is the agent that grows with you. A normal chatbot, such as ChatGPT or Claude, whatever you're used to, basically starts from scratch every conversation. You're a stranger to it every single time. Hermes is built to do the opposite. It's supposed to remember you across sessions and more than that. It writes its own reusable skills as it works. So it actually gets better at the things you use as you use it over time. The way they describe it on their site, it does a few things that normal assistants don't. It keeps persistent memory. It builds a profile of you across conversations. It can run on its own schedule. And it's not model agnostic, where it's tied to one machine or computer. So on paper, it's less of a chatbot that you talk to, and it's more of an assistant that lives alongside you and learns. Now, I'll be honest about my reaction, because I think that's the useful part. When I first read all of that on the website, face first, I was a bit skeptical. It learns, it remembers, it grows with you. That's the exact kind of thing that every AI product or company claims. And most of the time, it means we bolt the database onto a chatbot. So I didn't take it at face value. So I spent a few weeks myself putting it together through its paces, trying to break the claims rather than confirm them. And here's where I landed up front, so you know where this is going. Some of it actually genuinely impressed me, enough that I stopped being skeptical about it, the core idea. And I believe this is extremely important for people my age who are about to walk into the workforce using these tools. And I'll show you both. Let's start with the part that won me over, the memory. So the first mode is a personal travel agent. And notice this line up top. Loaded your saved preferences from his previous session, July 20th, 2026, and remembered no flights before 8 a.m. So I've created a fictional character here. I'm Sam Rivera. I would prefer to have no flights before 10 a.m. I'm on a vegetarian diet, and my budget is somewhere around mid-range. And hotels, I would prefer to keep it less than $200 a night. Okay, now let's plan my trip. So now we can see 3 of the 4 options conflict with your current preferences. And the only one that's compliant is, so we can see it meets all the requirements. It departs at 10:25, which is after 10 a.m. Its budget is mid-range. The hotel is less than $200 a night, and it's vegetarian breakfast. However, let's try to look at the conflict. So this flight departs at 6:15, which is a bit too early for the 10 a.m. cutoff. However, there is a veg breakfast, and it meets the hotel price requirement. Option C, on the other hand, has no vegetarian breakfast at the Grill House Inn. And the budget is $210, where our cap is $200. Moving on to option D, Sky Fable. It departs at 9:05, which is a bit earlier than 10 a.m. And it exceeds my budget of $200 up to $215. However, there is a veg breakfast. Now, let's see if we can change our preferences, maybe to have more options. Say, we're making extra money. We want 250. Let's do $225 a night and no flights before 8 a.m. Let's save these preferences. Now, plan my trip. Now we see not only option A is compliant, but option D is also compliant, which From before, it wasn't. And that's extremely important because it keeps memory of everything. It changed the behavior based on the new one. The difference between a chatbot that forgets and an agent that models you over time, that's the moment that made me stop being a skeptic. So it still meets the requirement that Sam Rivera wants in this case, but changes accordingly based on its preference and memory. Okay, now let's switch to from a personal use case to a business vertical, a possible business vertical, which is resume screening. This is important. Screening people are sensitive, and AI can go wrong here extremely fast. So this agent checks job relevant facts only, required skills, years of experience, whether the claims on the resume are internally consistent. It does not touch on demographics, personal attributes, or subjective cultural fit. That's not just me saying it. It's written right there on the screen, and that's how the thing is actually built. We have a fictional posting for Nimbus Widgets Incorporated, which is the company, as a backend engineer. And we are trying to hire someone who has the required skills of Python, SQL, and REST APIs. Our preferred skills, nice to have, would be Fast API, AWS, and Docker, with a minimum experience in the industry of about 4 years. So we have 4 of these potential candidates: Alex Strongfit, Jordan NoSQL, Casey Time Warp, and Riley Jr. So say we click on screen candidates. As we can see, 1 out of the 4 candidates is a clean match. 3 need review for a missing skill, an internal inconsistency, or insufficient experience. So we can see that Alex Strongfit clearly is a match. He has the 6 years of experience. He meets the requirements of the required skills and the preferred skills, where he has experience in Python, SQL, REST APIs, and Fast API, AWS, and Docker in his resume. Now, moving on to Jordan NoSQL. Ironically, as shown in his last name, he has a gap in SQL. However, he does meet the requirements for 5 years. He does have experience in Python, REST APIs, Fast API, and Docker, and the claims internally in his resume are consistent. And now let's move on to Casey Timemore. He has 5 years of industry experience. He has the required skills of Python, SQL, REST APIs, AWS. Now, this seems like he meets all the requirements. However, in his resume, he claims that he was a lead backend engineer for 8 years, but states that he started working as a lead backend engineer back in January of 2024, all the way to present day, which is now August 2026. And that's a bit under 3 years. So the tenure claim is not supported by the listed dates. And that's where consistency can vary and can be quite tricky, where there definitely needs to be a human in the loop to look over when a recruiter screens over candidate. AI can file, hey, there's an inconsistency or consistency, but maybe the numbers are wrong. Maybe 8 years is 4 years. So we need to take that into account as well. Now, last but not least, Riley Jr. He meets all the requirements: Python, SQL, REST APIs. He just falls a bit short on the years. He has 2 years, which is below the 4-year minimum, and his claims are internally consistent. Now, the honest part, because this is what I want you all to take away. The unsettling part was that it made mistakes. It was confident when it was wrong as it was right. The industry has a name for this. It's called silent hallucinations, which is what I was mentioning earlier. False beliefs that the agent acts on without ever telling you. I almost missed it myself while I was specifically testing for it, which is exactly why it's so dangerous for people who aren't. So I built this failsafe live agent. It serves a known good response instead of inventing one. And every result has a human review step behind it. So here's where I'll land. This is the same engine, but 2 completely different lives. A person planning a trip, a business screening candidates. Same memory, same reasoning. The capabilities are real. That's not marketing. I watched them work, but the rough edges are real too. And I think that's the honest picture of where this technology is right now. It's genuinely powerful, and it's generally not something you hand the keys to yet. And if I were putting it into real use, I'd pilot it carefully. Scoped, isolated, with human in the loop, of course, not roll it out everywhere. Because the same autonomy is what makes an agent so impressive is the same thing that makes it hard to trust. Use it as a tool. Keep a person in the loop and verify what it tells you. That's the last part of the whole game. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Sainik. Thank you for sharing what you built on the AI with Arun show. And for viewers, if any of you are building interesting stuff and learning with AI, please share it in the comments below. And who knows, we'd love to host you on the channel. With that, keep building and keep learning with AI. Thank you.